Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my second video about micro black holes. In the first video, I have explained that micro black holes generate larger black holes, and that they consist of force wave, and that they are very tiny in the depth and of 10 to minus 34 meters. At first, I want to explain a little failure that I have made in the last lecture. It was that I have explained I've said that the gravitational constant, which is known in the literature and taught in the school, is in time direction. This is wrong. This value is it's also partly in space direction. It was spoken a little bit too fast. In my time pressure theory, I have calculated with the formula of everything, F equals E by lambda, analytical nature constants for the gravitational, for the ground structure. Sorry. I want to say first, here I can write also E by lambda. I can write E by lambda for each formula, but it depends on the complexity if I can solve these values. But it's possible as more general as the consideration. Okay. G analytical value is the root of 10 times 10 to minus 9 cubic meters per kilogram and square time. And between both is transformed in the overthrusting of two micro black holes. As an overthrusting of the microcosm with the macrocosm over the new nature law, the micro-macro coupling, which means that the microscopical quantities of atoms as a group property, as a macroscopical quantum state of atomic lattice, influence the motion properties of the macro body. Means, for example, the velocity and or the acceleration of a falling apple with the over term hyperacceleration, respectively, in the opposite direction, anti-hyperacceleration. And that this is described by the quantum optical transformations in the micro black holes. This can be described here in the circle square. Here for the Hilbert space is the imaginary axis and the real axis here. This is the three-dimensional space in X, Y, and Z. Here for the energy of the whole universe, this could be the energy of the whole macroscope, for the black hole of the whole universe. Or here, the vertical point here is the lowest energy state of the microcosm. This is here the energy state for the highest energy state, 10 to 68 joules. Between both are the all other energy states. This axis is the verticality, the fourth space dimension, and this is the negative, imaginary fourth space dimension. The imaginary number means the whole complexity of the universe. Imagine the whole universe is a formula of an unbelievable number of formulas, and all together means this imaginary number. In the special case, the formula of everything is a very general case, and one can also say E is equals F equals E by lambda. It's also possible to say, well, 3E, 5E, or E by 9, or whatever. It's always F, another E by lambda. What I wanted to explain there is it's not so easy to explain something in a very short time. Okay, this is the time direction, and the space direction is here. This section here. The space direction. This is time direction. This is space direction. No. And this here is the analytical values are in time direction, and the analytical values are partly in space and partly in time direction. I call it space direction. Time direction what I want to explain in this lecture is that micro black holes. It's okay. Right now, I talk no later, although I'm not very sure all the time. It does not matter. So, there are two possible. Es muss nicht perfekt sein. Scheiß drauf. So, there are two possibilities: the flat space with in which each square meter has an energy for 1 joule for the dark energy. But if there is no mass here, then for the zero singularity means the observable universe, the mass is 0. Here the mass would be the elementary mass of 10 to minus 17 joule or kilogram. Here's no mass inside, this is the flat space. And here, here's maybe a place where it's high energy, let's say the black hole of the universe, let's say the black hole of the universe. Or the Sun-Earth system. I take now the extreme, the black hole of the universe. With a time pressure layer, this is 1 joule here. But here we have now time pressure layer with the diameter of the universe here. Here, whereby the energy is then the diameter of the universe squared, and this is 10 to 68 joule. It is not higher because of the decrease of the entropy from the center of the universe here to the border of the universe. These both extremes here have an effect on micro black holes. Here the micro black hole has a depth of 10 to minus 34 meters. This is here, this value. And here, micro black holes, the value I added more and more as higher is the mass. The distances are added. And if we have here this value here, then we have for the macrocosm 10 to 68 energy states. And this follows here to a row of 10 to 68 energy states, and this is why the black hole has here a depth of 10 to 34 meters. This is a very, very deep black hole, and this can uptake masses and plunge up light, and that light cannot escape. These are the known very strong black holes. Why the flat space has a black hole? This is very, very flat. It is tiny, has only a tiny depth. Here the distances are in a row and are horizontal, and this is this line here. This horizontal is 10 to 34 meters. This is horizontality. This is verticality. This is verticality. Here we have for the microcosm n equals 10 to minus 68 energy steps, and they are parallel here. And so for this extreme, and so the micro black hole has only this depth here. A lot of mass, and we have verticalities in the row, and this causes a very deep black hole. And if we have no mass, then the verticality is parallel, and it stays always 10 to minus 34 meters. This I want to explain that the depth of black holes depend on the mass of the black hole, and that the micro black holes are agglomerated either as parallel black holes, which belongs to undistinguishable particles, or to a row of micro black holes and distinguishable particles. What I want to say is that each object in the universe has an energy state. And for example, a Perpetuum mobile is only a small object, but a levitating flight object also. And this is maybe Perpetuum mobile machine has a total energy mc squared of, let's say 10 to 20 joule with 1 ton, 1000 kilograms. And this is in the range of it is quite slow, quite low value, and thereby the micro black holes are not open so much. That is much lower than the effect that is caused by the Earth, that has a much higher mass, and we are also not uptaken by the micro black holes that are opened by the Earth's gravitational field or by the Sun gravitational field that have a much higher energy. Okay, that is all what I want to explain in this next lecture. Bye.